Okay, hello and hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 3rd of November, 2023. Yep, I think I'm still back. I'm stuck back in 2022. I think it was a little bit of a more simple time. I think so. I don't know, honestly, is like, but nowadays it's everything's weird. Everything's just kind of not the way it used to be, right? Everything is not going to be the way it used to be, but in general, yeah, we're going through a lot of changes. But anyway, look, here in this session, we'll pick up on some market and the markets. So we'll have a look at some charts. We'll have a look at the fundamentals, the technicals as well. So as usual, yep, but before we go further, as always, I need to quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Yes. So guys, now then, let's jump into the charts. So just a quick one here. So yesterday, we did have an very interesting day. Yep, but I'll get to that in a bit. Look, from in terms of Japan, this morning, Japan is closed. But the futures will most likely move because, well, not most likely, but they will move because of the an interesting trading day today, and yeah, so we'll see some nice action in there, I believe. But of course, let's not rush into things for now. What I can see here from the technical perspective, and like I said, I'll take into consideration the fact that Japan is on holiday today, so maybe not as much of kind of a move here will be, but in general, yeah, we'll see how the futures react today. I think that yes, we might see some very interesting activity. So just bear with me one moment. Yep, there we go. So right, guys, looking at the picture here, I would say yes, we are in the range. We've reached my target. My target was the upper side of the range. And beautiful. Okay, that's all good. That's all nice because mission accomplished. Now what's next? Next is the question, can we break the upper side of the range now? So this is what I'm going to be monitoring for now. The upper side of the range for me here is near the 32,435, 563 levels here. If we get a nice clearance of that, then yes, great, more buyers here could join in. For the downside, I need to see a drop back below the 100 and the 50-day EMAs, and then we could take it from there. China 50. China 50 did make its way higher. So this morning, we did get the Tizen Services PMI. Came out much worse than the forecast, but better than the previous. So in a way, it's the market is considering that as a positive still. And we're seeing the index kind of remaining above that downside line, which we got broken. So that's why for now, at this point, I think that we will continue monitoring that 12,230 zone, which I talked about already a few times in this week. And I said to you that I need to see not only a break of that downside line, but also a push and seeing the body of the daily candle staying above the 12,230 zone. If I get that, great. More buyers here could join in. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below the crossroads of these two trend lines and then consider a move lower. ASX 200, let me just double check very quickly. Did we get anything from Australia? That was a rhetorical question. Yes, of course, we did get retail sales numbers. So the month-on-month figure came out much better than the forecast, and not to mention the previous, of course, as well. But plus 0.9, that's good. That's giving a boost to the stock market here. And yes, I mean, not only that this is giving the boost to the stock market, but also, I mean, yesterday's trading action in the US was also giving a boost to everybody. But yes, we're seeing a nice push higher. A test of this downside line drawn from the high of the 15th of September. So yes, at the moment, I am keeping a close eye on that one. If we do break that downside line and we push above the 7,000 mark somewhere around here, then yes, of course, this is from where I'm going to get even more comfortable with higher levels. So at the moment, the mission has been accomplished because I talked about this. I said that if we do start climbing above the 6,850 zone, this is what I talked about this week. And I said that if we do climb above this territory, I'll go towards my 6,884, then 6,908, and if all that gets clear, then I'm aiming for this downside line. Boom, fantastic. I'm happy. What's next? Well, like I said, next is my psychological 7,000 mark that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on together with this downside line. If we clear that, I'll go further north. In terms of the downside, well, this is the tricky bit. In terms of the downside, although I do like this highlighted zone right here, I might start looking at some lower levels if we do drop below this hurdle, back below the 6,908 zone, somewhere around here. If that happens, then yes, I will consider a move lower. But then, of course, I'll get, like I said, I'll get more comfortable with the downside on a drop below the 6,850 zone, somewhere around here. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let me just quickly put something in the chat room. As always, good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's having a wonderful start of Friday. I'm not writing that one, but in general, I hope everybody's having a wonderful start of Friday, feeling all relaxed. I mean, look at this madness. Look at this crazy activity. Look, weekly chart. Oh, Daredevil Dave, good morning. Long time no see in the chat room. So look at this. I mean, this is just fascinating. I mean, if everybody was talking about October being the Uptober, right? I mean, no, it was the opposite. I mean, November, clearly it is taking the spotlight. And to be honest, this is insane. Look at this candle. Look at this weekly candle on the Dow. I mean, from 32,500 or 600, let's say, all the way to 33,000, kind of almost actually 34,000. So, wow. I mean, that is great. That is great for the bulls. I mean, we're seeing, yes, some nice, beautiful activity here. Let me bring back the daily. So, what I said to you before, that if we do this week, in the beginning of this week, I said to you that if we do pop above the 33,000, I'm going to aim higher initially towards that 33,420. First, of course, 200, then 420, and then that gets clear, this downside line. I mean, I wasn't anticipating a straightaway break of this downside line. Okay, nice. But for now, look, the way I think the day could go, and today, as you know, we do have the NFPs. By the way, the forecast right now is for a lower number to come out than the previous, because look, the previous came out as a surprise, and the previous came out as like 336K. Now the forecast is 480K. So in my opinion, whatever comes out below the previous might be seen as a maybe as a bearish indication for the US dollar, not the indices, but the US dollar. The reason why I'm saying this, because again, if you know, if numbers come out higher, let's say, right, that means the economy is doing well. We might see inflation reversing back up. This is where the Fed will start, thinking of raising rates again, and all these ideas get put into the heads of the bulls of the US dollar, and then that one goes higher. Well, whereas the of course higher interest rates are not good for the stock market, and that's where we could see a move lower. But that's in the logical world. We know that the market at the moment is maybe sometimes unlogical. So look, the way it could play out, for example, the number comes out, I don't know, like much higher than the previous figure. The stock market goes down, but then it adjusts itself up, and then we would see, a reversal back to the upside. So in general, I do like the idea of maybe a bit of a retracement. And actually, I will stick to my little theory, which I've mentioned before, and I said it several times already, that whenever we break a trend line, we tend to revisit it from the other side. So in that case, maybe, let me just grab my arrow here, maybe something like this, basically. So maybe if we get a good hold up near these levels, near the 200 and the 100-day EMA, then yes, maybe, like I said, we could see a retracement back down here, a retest of this downside line from the other side, and then rebound and push back up. I think I have to be a little bit more calm with my arrow here. I mean, of course, yes, I mean, I like the move here towards these high levels, but I think initially I just have to kind of lower my ambitions a little bit and kind of aim for this little target right here, the 34,300. So basically that's going to be my first target, and then we'll go from there. That's the highest point of October, by the way. Good potential target, but then again, let's see how this is going to play out. In terms of the downside, let's say suddenly if this starts falling off the cliff and it falls back below this downside line and stays below that, then maybe actually we could see a move lower. But look, I really want to draw this. No, not this. This. Where is that? There we go. I really want to draw the Fibonacci, but at this point, I mean, it's not really clear. Maybe it's going to be somewhere from around here. I mean, look at this alignment of 38.2 coinciding nicely with my hurdle here. I mean, this is called trying to see what you want to see, right? So, or maybe, or maybe like this. So, we could see, but no, that's too much. No, I think this looks great, actually. Everything is aligned. So basically, we could see another pop higher here, a test of this 33,900. Basically, we could come close to the 34,000 mark on the futures, and then maybe kind of, fail to reach that and reverse back down and then kind of go for a retracement. So, look, I'm not saying that that's how it's going to work out. I'm just saying that, here are more here are more scenarios for you to jam your head up. Yeah, you choose, guys. You choose. You decide what you want to do. But in general, for me, from my perspective, what I'm looking at here is, like I said, I'm watching this territory very carefully near the 100-day EMA, because last time it acted as a very nice area of resistance. And if it does the same thing again, look, we might see even like an overshoot a little bit. But if it continues to hold here, maybe a bit of a retracement back down here could be possible. I mean, a retracement would be nice. Not saying anything, but hey, we're having a strong week. Let's see how the month is doing, by the way. I mean, the month is just like, yeah. In a way, I think that we could end up traveling much higher later on during this month. But again, let's not rush into things. There should be a retracement at some point, hopefully. But again, where and when, we'll have to just keep on monitoring this very carefully. If we get a hold up somewhere around here, then yes, maybe I'll take the chance maybe to consider a bit of a retracement here or something like that. But in general, everything's looking quite bullish in overall, and yeah, we'll see how November continues. It's just the second day of the month. I mean, this reversal started happening at the end of October, but it's the the second day, the third day of the month. Sorry, I'm still in the past. So let's see how this is gonna play out. The S&P 500. So beautiful approach here. So look, I mean, I talked about this, if you remember, in the middle of the week. I said to you that if we do pop above this 4,235 territory, I'll go higher towards my downside line. Boom, mission accomplished. Now today I'm just chilling. I'm watching. I'm very carefully, calmly observing the price action. And look, if, in my opinion, I mean, if everything has already worked out nicely this week, I mean, why to screw up your statistics? Just kind of look, if you really want to enter, you have to consider today, for example, right? You want to really trade, then you have to consider one thing. First of all, risk management, because I know that there's volatility today, right? And you know, and everybody knows that there's going to be volatility today after the NFP release, maybe a little bit before, and the market could start going crazy. I mean, this is something that everybody thinking, oh, great, more volatility. There's more chances for me to, make some money. But at the same time, there's more chances for you to lose. So again, really depends on your risk management. I mean, I hope you're doing good risk management and not risking a lot, because the goal is to look, you need to look at everything at percentage wise, not like monetary value wise, but percentage wise. This is the goal. And this is what I keep on saying to everybody who I teach and meet, and so you need to have, like I said, you need to look at everything percentage wise. So don't rush into things. Like I said, if you're doing good this week already, just maybe you can enter smaller positions, for instance, just to kind of be a little bit more on the careful side. So long story short, I'm not here to actually teach you. This is something else on the side, can be looked into. But I would say this way, that for now, looking at the technical picture here on the S&P 500, yes, I am anticipating a further move north. However, a clearance of that downside line is required for me. Until I get that, at this point, I'm just observing the price action. Maybe it's going to start moving sideways here. Maybe it's going to just move here and there and everywhere. But look, if we start falling back below the 200-day EMA and stay below it, then yes, I will consider a move lower. I mean, I will consider maybe a bit of a retracement back down here. But like I said, yes, I need to see a drop back below the 200-day EMA. NASDAQ, where did my NASDAQ go? Why did I remove it? Just a sec. Ah, there we go. This is where no, not this one. This one right here. So, oh yeah, I removed my NASDAQ here. Let's have a look at NASDAQ. What's happening here? Beautiful move. I mean, I cannot say anything else. So, beautiful break here of this downside line. We've reached my target. My target was the two EMAs here. Tick. Fantastic. What's next? Well, next is a further push north. This is what I'm going to be targeting. For now, look, I'm aiming for this 15,027.60 territory. Actually, you know what? This is what I need to do here. So what I said to you before, that if we do pop above this downside line, I'll go higher. Initially, this 14,792, then the EMAs, and then this area of resistance. Now, we did reach already that area of resistance. I want to see if we can clear that and we can go further. Now, in general, I do like this scenario, but I think we need to go in steps, given that we already had quite a strong up move in general. So let me just double check something very quickly as well. I want to see the earnings that came out this week. So in the US, because don't forget that in the US, we're also going through this earnings season. And next week, let me just double check what's happening next week. Berkshire Hathaway. Okay, the company, companies are going down, like in terms of popularity. Still, there's a lot of good companies coming out. Lucid, on Monday we have Berkshire Hathaway. Tuesday, like Lucid, Occidental Petroleum. Wednesday, Walt Disney, Biogen, Warner Bros. What else? Wynn Resorts, or Ralph Lauren, if you're trading that. Thursday, We do have AstraZeneca. Okay, and Friday there's nothing. So okay, look, next week, next week we do have some companies as well. Maybe not as grand as this week, but this week we had McDonald's, AMD. Well, I mean, Wednesday was just packed with companies. Yesterday, from the top ones, was Apple, and Apple, yes, 1.46, very good results from Apple. Eli Lilly. So yes, yes. Let's quickly have a look at AAPL. Let's have a look at that one, guys. What happened? There we go. Beautiful push to the upside. Okay, great. In general, this I can see this is what I was analyzing earlier on, so this worked out. So look, in general, I don't look at okay, I do look at stocks from the technical perspective, but you need to dig into fundamentals. But at this point, look, I mean, looking at the technical picture here, we're approaching this downside line, so in a way, maybe a bit of a breakout here could be possible at some point. So, but that's only from the technical perspective. This is different a little bit. Stocks are different than the other ones, indices, commodities, forex, because it's not only technical that matter. I mean, they do matter, but it might get a hold up here. Maybe some bad news come out, and then we reverse back down. So just keep let's not kind of focus on this too much, like from that perspective. Let's look at DAX in general. DAX looking beautiful. I'm pushing nicely above this 15,066 territory. I spoke about that level, and I talked about this idea, and there we go. We cleared my 15,200 zone tick, and now my next target is the 50-day EMA. Not tick yet, but hopefully today we could see that test. But let's wait and see. Let's not rush into things. For the downside, a drop back below the 15,066 territory is needed. So long story short, yes, until I get that, I'm not examining the downside. I get it. Some of you might say, but what about this little hurdle? No. This little area here, we might actually stop respecting this territory, this hurdle, and maybe we'll start moving sideways or something. Maybe we'll form something like a bullish flag or something. So that's why my downside scenario preferably is from around here. The FTSE 100. So yesterday, BOE, Bank of England, kept the rate unchanged as expected. Nothing major, nothing new. So where's that? 5.25 was it? Yeah, 5.25. So yeah, it remained the same. There was an increase for there was one person who was actually in favor of a rate hike. Actually, that somebody had changed their mind, so for an increase. But okay, look. 3 members kind of were now this time. It was expected that 2 members will be for a rate hike, but then actually came out with 3. But the thing is that the previous number was 4, so that's why maybe still the market sees it as a positive. And there we go. We're seeing the stock market here, the FTSE 100 flying higher, clearing that 7,400 zone. I talked about that, and there we go. We're pushing further north. My next target is the 50-day EMA, and then we will take it from there. Actually, not much to say anymore here. I mean, for the downside, for the downside, a drop back below the 7,400 territory is now needed. This way, I'm gonna get a little bit more excited with the downside. US dollar. So there we go. We drifted back down. I mean, look at this roller coaster ride. I mean, in general, the idea worked out. Because why? Because as I said, that if we do pop above the 106.57 territory, I'll go higher towards my 107.05. Tick, tick. Not exactly that level, but the 107 territory, fantastic test of it. So I will stick to the same game plan. Again, I know that it got done here. I mean, it's a done deal, so we've reached my target. But again, if we do pop again above the 106.57, I'll go to the upside. For the downside, a drop below the 105.75 territory for me is required. Yesterday we had that, but we failed to stay below it. And not only that, we failed to stay below the downside line. So look, so far this is providing good support, I would say, this downside line. So I'll keep an eye on it. But like I said, these are my scenarios for the upside and the downside. Until I get those breaks, I'm not really examining anything. Gold, trying to push back up. Look at this 1970 zone, continues to provide support. I said to you before that a drop below that hurdle is required for me in order to consider lower levels. For the upside, 1991, 90, or sorry, should I say 1992. This is what I need, a break off in order to go a little bit higher. Silver, similar story. I mean, honestly, like, I'm picking up on silver just because I'm not really interested in silver at this point, because it's just nothing. It's just like oscillating around these EMAs. I mean, look, if you do like kind of this sideways action, congratulations, this one could be for you. But at the moment, look, okay, it fell back below the EMAs. Okay, at this point, I need to say that if it stays below all of the EMAs, I'll go lower. It did stay below this before, but now, I mean, I'm not really, like I said, I'm not very, very excited about this. Maybe I need to look at the weekly chart instead. Maybe there's less madness in here, but in here also, we cleared the EMAs here, the 50 and the 100. So let's see where we're going to stay this week in relation to these two EMAs. If we're going to stay below, then okay, I'm going to consider a move towards that upside line here, which I still have on my chart, drawn from the low of the 22nd of June. Let's jump into oil better, something a little bit more exciting. There we go, pushing back up here a little bit. Okay, look, I said to you before that if we do push back above the 200-day EMA and back above this 81.74 territory, I will go a little bit more to the upside. Well, so far I'm going to consider that, and yes, if we do remain above that 200-day EMA, then yes, I'll go further north. And looking to support my upside scenario in the short run, this is what I'm having right now. I'm having a break of this steep short-term tentative downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 20th of October. So this steep downside line is getting violated right now. As long as we remain above it, I'll continue targeting the upside. For the downside, the same game plan is valid. A drop below that 200-day EMA would be needed. Sugar, something that you probably don't look at very often. Oh, I forgot to put sugar in here. Let me just quickly put this into description. Yeah, sugar. There we go. So, look, again, I do like to look at these commodities, these exotic commodities, and they do present themselves with nice opportunities. As you can see here, this is what's happening right now. So I talked about this before. I talked about this idea of an ascending triangle pattern. Look, according to technical analysis rules, such patterns tend to break to the upside, but again, I've seen this happening several times in the opposite direction, so that's why I need that breakout first. I get it, we got the breakout here lately, but then it was kind of a bit of a false breakout. So better for this one, I think better look at the weekly chart. As you can see here, we're getting these false breakouts. So on the weekly chart, it's clear. If we suddenly stay above this territory, above that 27.61 zone, approximately around there, if we stay above it, then yes, there is a greater chance for this one to move further north. And what I mean by staying above it, like the body of the daily candle, or in this case, the weekly candle, staying above that area, and then yes, I will go further north. In terms of the downside, a drop below this upside line could open the door towards some lower levels. Bitcoin, let's have a look at that one. So there we go. We're flirting with this hurdle. Yesterday, I can't remember. The one of our viewers, we were discussing Fibonacci's on Bitcoin, and I don't know if you're watching right now, so please say hello if you're watching. Honestly, sorry, I cannot remember. Mare Valley or something like that. But look, but Bitcoin here, yesterday, like I said, the viewer kind of suggested to look at the Fibonacci on a bigger picture. Yes, I agree. Fibonacci on the bigger picture here, but again, as I already said yesterday, that it depends from where. If you draw it from here, then yes, we have a 61.8% retracement. We have a test of that level, and now we're seeing a drift back down. If we draw it this way, then basically we have a 38.2. So maybe we could go for another 50% here towards the 50%. But again, for that, that's why I am waiting for some clearances here, and if we do break this upside line and we stay below it, then yes, this potentially could open the door towards some lower levels. More sellers could join in if we do drop below this little hurdle, this 33,386, and then yes, we could take it from there. There we go. This is the game plan right now for me. So the first step to the downside is the break of this upside line. If we get that break, then yes, great. More sellers here could jump in, but then we're keeping a close eye on this one. Because why I'm keeping a close eye on this one? Because I don't want to end up seeing this one as a range, and then, you know, starts moving sideways. And if it starts moving sideways, then maybe it's going to be like a bullish flag or some sort. So maybe then we could see a push nicely to the upside later on. But for the upside scenario, either way, I need to see a pop above the 35,611 zone. Anything in here, I'm not really getting way too comfortable with that. Ethereum, there we go. We're seeing a nice retracement. So in general, this idea worked out. So this is kind of a bit of a delay. So I mean, this reversal here, this curved up arrow already worked out, because I talked about it previously here. So we did a rebound, we pushed higher, and then I said that my next target is the 1877 or 1878 zone right here, together with the 1888. We reached the first one here, and then we retraced back down, but we remain above this hurdle, this 1775 zone. So long story short, if you're looking for some lower levels, a drop below this territory would be needed. If you're looking at the area here, then, I mean, if we're looking for some upside, yes, there is a slightly greater chance for some upside, but look, I want to see how this is going to play out. I don't want to see this one forming something like maybe like a bearish flag or something like that, and then, you know, falling off the cliff. So in general, I like the idea of waiting for a clearance of this territory and then going higher. But I get it, maybe a bit of a big territory to miss out on. So the way you could play this one out, for example, is, let's say you put your stop loss somewhere around here, and then let's say if it does drift lower and stays below this, then yes, you know, this is where you exit, and then maybe shift towards lower levels. But again, it's tricky, because we might start getting something like this, you know, like these breakouts, these false breakouts, and that could be very annoying. So that's why for now I'm just maybe gonna wait on this one, and I'm gonna see what's gonna happen with this little hurdle, this 1775 zone. Litecoin, there we go, still kind of bullish. But I need that pop up of this 70.66 territory. If that gets cleared, then yes, my next target is the 200-day EMA. That's for the upside. For the downside, a drop below that downside line, back below the downside line, could push the crypto back below the 50-day EMA, and then yes, potentially this is where more sellers could join in. Let's jump into a few pairs, guys, very quickly. AUDUSD, mission accomplished. My target of the 100-day EMA got reached. I cannot say anything else. Apart from happy me. So look, this today we got the retail sales numbers that came out better, and yes, we're seeing some positivity. We're seeing some, basically this is coming from, I think, the weakness of the US dollar. But again, if you're trading this pair, keep your eyes on it, because today it has USD in it. So we might see some nice action in AUDUSD today. So keep your eyes on that, guys. Look, if we do clear the 100-day EMA, great, wonderful, more buyers here could join in, and we could target that 0.6522 territory, and then we'll take it from there. For the downside, a drop below the 0.6393 territory is required in order to go lower. This 50-day EMA is also here, so everything is kind of looking quite nice and dandy for the downside from this area. So that's what I'm gonna stick to. AUDJPY, very quickly on that one. Again, mission accomplished. Look, did I not say this in the beginning of this week that look, if we do push above that 95.82, 83 zone, I will go higher towards my 96.94. Tick, fantastic. The good result. Now what's next? Look, it might go further north, don't get me wrong, but at this point, I think that's the best is to just continue monitoring. Maybe leave it actually for this week already. Just watch the barrier. What's going to happen here? Maybe it's going to get a hold. Maybe it's going to get a hold up, and then we will reverse back down. So my downside scenario will now be from this area, from this previous resistance barrier. Now it will be a good area of support. So if we do clear it, great. More sellers here could join in. So yeah, that's my game plan on AUDJPY and NZDUSD. So continues to push higher. As I said, my next target was the 50-day EMA tick, and then if that gets cleared, the next target is this downside line drawn from the high of the 14th of July. If we get a nice test of that area, wonderful. And then I'll take it from there, because around here we also have the 100-day EMA, which is shown as the green line, which kind of it was coinciding before with this downside line. Now it's not. So maybe it's going to be coinciding with something else. Maybe something around this. This is another line to consider. But look, both of these lines are tentative. Both of these lines might not carry any significance, so that's why maybe don't really focus on them too much. Just can maybe stick to the 100, the EMAs here for now. USDJPY. So far, I want to say so good, but actually, I mean, okay, I said to you that if we do drop below the 150.78 territory, then yes, and we stay below it, I'll consider a move lower. So far, yes, we're drifting nicely to the downside. But look, from the beginning of this week, I want to draw something. So for this week only. So this is the Fibonacci for this week only, and look at where we are currently getting a hold up. We're getting a hold up near the 50% retracement on Fibonacci. We did the 61.8. Yes, we tested it, rebounded, and pushed back up. Now we're getting a hold up here near the 50. My question is, can we go lower? I mean, at the moment, I'll probably just leave this one out, because if it starts dropping lower, then yes, 61.8 is once again on the table, and if that gets cleared, further declines here are possible. So basically, let me just put this on the chart here. So further declines are possible. So basically, my downside scenario on this one right now at this point is the drop below this 150, or like, let's say 149.95 territory. Look, the idea to keep an eye on that 150.78 is still it's still valid, because I said to you that if we stay below that, then yes, I'll go further south. And I'm leaning towards further south. But my problem right now is becoming, after reevaluating this, is that we're getting a hold up near the 50%. We did the 61.8 very quickly. And now we are forming somewhat of a bullish flag. Is that the case? We'll have to wait and see. But if we start pushing, let's put it this way, if we start pushing back above the 150.78 territory, then yes, great, more buyers here could join in. So, but at this point, look, I mean, I think that we need to keep it. We need to stay focused and keep our eyes on the... Look, I'll remove the Fibonacci's a little bit in the way. So that's why I have my upside scenario from somewhere around here. If we do clear that 150.78 territory, again, I'll aim for the upside again. For the downside, as I said, drop below that 61.8, which is, by the way, just kind of around this area somewhere. So a good potential target. This 149.85 could add that extra confirmation for the sellers. So USDCAD, there we go. Beautiful move. Fantastic. So far, so good. I mean, mission accomplished, because what I said to you, that if we do fall and stay below the 1.3862 territory and we continue to trade below, then yes, my next target is this upside support line. You know what I really want to do here is remove everything. I mean, this worked out. I mean, this upside line got tested. This upside line is almost getting tested, so I'll take that as a success as well. So good, everything is good. So I want to remove the drawings, and I want to start fresh. Now, one thing I really want to bring back is one of these trend lines, which is maybe, like I said, a little bit on the tentative side. So, but still, I like it. It's quite good. Now, another very unattractive line here is going to be this one, or maybe attractive, I don't know. So also good potential target, but for this, I need to see a break of this this shorter term and steeper upside line. If I get that clearance, then yes, potentially more sellers here could join in. In terms of the upside on USDCAD, I think that given this pair today, guys, keep your eyes on it, because we have, like I said, we have the job numbers from the US, and don't forget that we also have job numbers from Canada. And at the moment, the employment change is expected to decline, actually. Participation rate, no forecast, but unemployment rate is expected to increase. So, okay, look, this is going to be a very difficult one. I would say if the numbers come out all better than their forecasts, then yes, this could maybe strengthen the Canadian dollar a little bit, and we could see this one falling further down here, this pair. I mean, I'm talking about this pair. And then we'll go from there. But in terms of the upside, as you can see, I've put a new level here, 1.3813. This is what I need to see a break off in order to go higher towards my 1.3899 zone or this 1.39 area in general. Good potential target there, but let's see first what's going to happen with this steeper upside line drawn from the low of the 11th of October. USDCHF very quickly on that one. So look, just bear with me one moment. Just need a bit of a sip of tea. Look, with USDCHF also, we're keeping a close eye on that one today because of the US data. So look, I'm keeping this Fibonacci still on the chart because I still like it, and if I'm looking at some higher levels, then I would say a push above the 61.8 zone here. The 61.8 retracement on the Fibonacci, yes, is needed in order to go higher. That area is roughly around the 0.9108 level, something around there. Or let's round it up here, probably the 0.9110. Yeah, if we clear that one, then yes, I'll go higher. For the downside, a drop below this 200-day EMA is needed. And look at this, how well this acted as a good area of support. So at the same area, in the same area here, we have the 38.2. So a drop below that and below the 200-day EMA could do the trick for a few more sellers. GBPJPY, we're still flirting with the upper side of the range here. I said to you before that I need to see a clearance of that. We are forming something of a bullish flag, but it comes in line perfectly with my barrier here, the upper side of the range. If we get a clearance of that, then yes, I'll go further north. While we remain inside the pattern here, inside the range, I'm not really doing anything with it. GBPUSD, something that we're watching today as well. We're coiling up a little bit, as you can see, but yes, I'll stick to my game plan. I need to see a clearance of one of the sides of this, here of this kind of triangle, yeah, veg kind of triangle, yeah, let's put it this way. If we get a clearance, then yes, if we clear one of the sides here, one of these trend lines, then yes, I'll consider the next short-term directional move. EURCAD, there we go. Look at this tease. This whole week it is just teasing. I mean, a few breakouts here, starting off from Monday. Yes, we pushed higher above the downside line. We traveled above the 1.4695, but then we failed. We failed to stay, and then we retraced back down. And look, we fell below the 1.4617 territory. I spoke about this yesterday, and for now, I am leaning towards the downside, towards my upside line drawn from the low of the 28th of September. If we somehow reverse back up, again, the downside line, I need to see a break off. I need to see that one getting broken, and I need to see the body of the daily candle staying above that downside line. If that happens, then yes, I'll go further north. EURUSD finally. So there we go. A bit of a choppy session here yesterday, but in general, we remained above my 1.06 zone. I talked about this, and I said to you that my next target is the 50-day EMA. If that gets cleared and we stay above it, then yes, I'll go further north. So far, we're just flirting with that 200-day EMA, with that 1.0625. If that gets cleared, then yes, I will aim for the 100-day EMA first, and then we will just kind of take it from there. So long story short, that's what I'm going to be looking at here for now. So as long as we remain above the 50-day EMA, my next target is the 100-day EMA. In terms of the downside, well, previously I talked about this 1.0560. I still like that. But if somehow we start falling back below the 1.06 territory, I will start considering lower levels, but I'll get more comfortable with lower levels on a drop below this. You know what? I need to mark this area as well because I think this is equally important. So from this, this one right here, the 1.0560, this is from where I'll get even more comfortable with the downside. But of course, 1.06, I'm still keeping an eye on it, and I'm keeping an eye on that 50-day EMA. If we continue to trade above it today, then yes, I'll continue targeting my 100-day EMA, which is not far from this highest point of October. Is that correct? Yep, that's the highest point of October near the 1.0695 zone. So guys, that's it for this session for this week. I hope you found it useful. I hope, guys, you found this whole week useful. I really appreciate your time, your views, your rocket ships, your comments, everything, your participation. I really appreciate that. That really helps me a lot. So thank you very much. I hope you'll have a fantastic trading day today. I hope you'll have a wonderful weekend as well. And as always, guys, stay safe. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose. Don't overtrade. It's Friday. Don't overtrade. And everything will be fine. So I'll see you on Monday, as always, 7 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. If you want to continue to please the trading gods, subscribe to our channel for a blessing.